Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome to another update here from the Old Barn Homestead. Just picked this guy up. You know, I really get tired of seeing that show off Greg Porter using his Milwaukee saw, so I had to get one of my own. Just kidding. So I got this because A, it's really not that expensive. It's just a little over $200, I think I paid for it on eBay. And you can never have too many different ways to cut stuff, but and also this thing will cut through I think it's up to 2-inch thick steel or some ridiculous amount, and plasma cutters. I mean, there's nothing else in here I've got that'll cut through steel that thick, except for, you know, maybe the horizontal bandsaw. But usually when you have thick stuff, it's heavy and, you know, awkward to get loaded in there. I'll take you out in a second and show you why I got it and kind of the plan here. But anyway, all right, I was going to show you guys the reason for that metal cutting circular saw is out here in the barn. I've got some partial plates. These are like 3/4 inch by thick by 12 inches wide flat bars, and they're pretty freaking heavy. Too heavy to just kind of wheel in there quickly by yourself. So the thought was, I don't think I'll be cutting a lot of large pieces anyway. It's just when I need to make a small part that's thick, just come out here with that metal cutting saw and just saw off what I need, and that way I can take. The plasma table is plumbed up, connected up for the most part. You can see that blue 3/4 inch air line. You guys remember, I don't know, several months back when we put these in, even before the spray foam, which would have been back in the spring, we pre-plumbed the main feed on that coming in. I don't know if the lights are blowing that out or not, but I put a union in right there, and so this is coming over to right here, and I had one of those motor guard filters in there, and I took it out because I'm ordering another one, but I took it out so that I could mock up and get this one all set over here. But I got another one, I'll just pop it back in when it comes in. And then, so we ran a union and then came off of that here with this. And, you know, the goal is to keep, and I know it doesn't look the best, and if you look at the guys that use the straight sections everywhere, there's 90s, you know, going along the wall, and there's a 90 drop down at the stations and 90s in the corners. They really, you know, tell you to avoid hard 90s if you can. So basically this is all routed over here. You can see, you know, it kind of loosely routes, you know, makes some pretty soft 90s there coming around. And then I got the motor guard filter, and then dropping straight off of that with a little manifold down to the plasma cutter. So you don't get any hard 90s until you get all the way here, and that drops down straight to the plasma cutter. And then I have another feed coming off of it, and you can see there's a hose reel mounted there by the door. So I got 3 hose reels that are 50 feet each. I got one here, one over there, and then this one is the one I used at the house to paint the Mustang with and all that. So, but see if you guys can tell me what's wrong with it. The spring, you know, it stops pulling right there, and it obviously still has a long way to go. Is that something I can tighten up on it, or anybody know how these are adjusted? I haven't gotten up there to mess with it yet. I just thought I'd ask. Somebody might know quickly. So anyway, the electrical for the plasma cutter is here. Pulled a number 6 all the way over from the fuse panel, and it's got a 50 amp breaker, 50 amp plug on it. So this and the air compressor will be the 2 most power consuming machines I have in terms of amp draw, and obviously they'll be working and going at the same time. So something to definitely keep an eye on is, you know, what this is going to do to the electric bill. But so I got one more fitting to get right there to close that up, and then I got to get that motor guard, and then, believe it or not, my air compressor the rotary compressor is still not up and running. They got the contactor in, and it turned out to be the wrong one. So the guy's on his way now to come and replace it. He finally got the right one in. So that's been a hassle. We got everything hooked up here for the plasma torch. You can see the torch lead coming off of the table there. Got that routed into the cable carrier. And this is a 25-foot lead, and it really didn't end up having a lot of extra. And then this will the whole table will get pushed back to the wall. And when we do that, it does make the turn and able to fit into the plasma cutter. The 8-foot ground rod is in the ground on the outside, and you can see this comes in and is connected up with a hard copper line. I'll probably replace that with like a number 6 green, shielded, flexible, stranded copper, and put a little service loop on it so we can get the table in and out when we need to. But I'm hoping pretty soon here we'll be able to get this all the way pretty close against the back of the wall and not have to mess with it too much. Maybe leave it out just enough to get that door open on that in case we need it. But anyway, it's all connected up. We've got Mach running. This is the computer that they sent with it. Whoops. So anyway, it was had fallen asleep there, but you can see so we got Mach talking to the controller and able to jog the gantry, and the limit switches are working and all that. So I think we're pretty much good to go here. Just got to get this air compressor going, and that'll be pretty much it. And if I don't get it going, I may just use the old air compressor, which doesn't have the the dry refrigerated air that the new one has. But at least maybe we can make a few test cuts on it to get it going. But this is what I ended up, sort of how I have things configured here. It may change at some point. I'm kind of using this bench here as sort of a workstation. I need to get a tool or a stool set up there, like set this up with my shipping labels and things like that. Or it depends on what else ends up happening in here. That's a lot of valuable space being taken up for computer work. And it is a shop after all, so I'll give that some more thought. I kind of like how it is now, but we'll see how it goes. And then we got this thing that we built here, which is mobile. I can move it over there if I need to. And then our other rack with other flat bar down here, and then just kind of miscellaneous cuts up there. And we got some round stock here, and then aluminum back in here. And you know all about the bolt bin. I've showed that before, and the fittings up there. So anyway, I'll show you this update over here too that we made. Finally, I made some videos a while back showing and you guys saw the video on that. You see it's kind of set up on this same workstation so you can run stuff into it, and can't have something too long because of this, and it may end up moving that around. But so we had talked about before, how to rig this up so that I can use it to cut wood and metal. And this is kind of what I ended up coming up with, is building this section down here that's raised up. So when you have square tubing or flat stock angle iron, it'll all slide up underneath there, to do metal cuts with if you have a long piece. And then this is going to be the wood station here. Again, just using some scraps, some angle iron and square tubing. So it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but this part of it is on caster, so it can move around if we need to move it somewhere else in the shop. And then for outfeed, we got this that comes off of the saw, and then we got these two things set up and spaced out. We may put more. Right now they're just clamped into place. We may adjust the spacing on it, but these are meant so that you can swing them out of the way. If you need full access to the deck on this and just don't want them in the way, they're on pivots there. just to be able to move them out of the way, or you know, if we need them, you know, we can bring them in for outfeed for that, for a really long board. But so there's 10 feet on this side going back to the wall, and then there's, I don't know, 20 feet that way. So it's a total of 30 feet in total, with 3 different, you know, operations that can be done here: the bandsaw, the hole punch, and the chop saw for wood down there. And then this guy right here is kind of in the way, but the bandsaw, you know, it seems like it's a little cramped over here, but you know, it's so far everything that we tried to do, or I've tried to do over here, has been plenty enough room. I'll back away so you can kind of get a little more. But again, I'm going to move that thing over here, get it out of the way, and not have it just sitting over there. But all right, guys, just a little update showing you guys what's going on here. Hopefully the next video I'll have we'll be seeing this thing make some cuts.